Did you know that only 9% of GMAT test takers score above a 655, while nearly 30% score over a 605? But how do these percentiles stack up against applicants to top business schools? Well, stick around as we unpack the meaning behind these numbers. Hey everyone, Aideni from Magoosh here. On this channel, we talk everything GMAT test prep related, so consider subscribing if you haven't already. So it's no secret that the GMAT is all about numbers, but understanding what those numbers actually mean can really help guide your study strategy. So in this video, we're going to break down how GMAT scoring works, what percentiles mean, and what the percentiles look like for top business programs. Plus, we'll give tips on how to maximize your score and really boost your admissions chances. Okay, let's start with the basics. What are percentiles and why do they matter? Well, schools use them as a way to compare your scores against other test takers. So, for example, the GMAT is scored out of 805. So, if you got an 805, first of all, congratulations. And second of all, you would be in the 100th percentile, literally the top of the class, meaning you score better than 100% of other test takers. Now, if you scored a 555, that puts you at the 49th percentile, which means you did better than 49% of other test takers. So why does this matter? Well, schools look at your scores in context of how other test takers perform. So a higher percentile means a stronger score and can give you an edge, especially when you're applying to competitive programs. If you're transitioning from the old GMAT to the new GMAT, or just comparing numbers between the two, you'll notice there's a key difference. Scores from the older GMAT end in a 0 or whole number, whereas scores for the new GMAT end in a 5. So let's look at some conversions. An old GMAT score of 700, which is around the 88th to 91st percentile, converts to a new GMAT focus score of 645 to 655. A score of 750 on the old test, which came out to the 98th to 99th percentile, now equates to around 695 to 715 on the GMAT focus. Similarly, a score of 600 on the old GMAT, which was near the 49th to 52nd percentile, now converts to 555 to 565 on the new scale. These adjustments reflect how the new GMAT focus better aligns percentiles with its refined scoring model, ensuring a more accurate representation of performance. For example, a 750 is still a stellar score on the old GMAT, but is now mapped to a score range. This is meant to reflect how the GMAT focus shows more nuanced differences in scoring now. So if you're confused about score conversions, I would recommend checking out a score conversion tool, such as the one that I'll link above here from Magoosh, or any free ones out there. Ultimately, understanding how your GMAT score maps against percentiles is critical to understanding where you land among other applicants to top business schools, and it'll help you set realistic goals based on business school requirements. So now let's talk about how GMAT scores align with business school expectations. So if you take a look at any business school's class profile website, you'll see that there are two GMAT scores they usually list. One is the median score for the most recent class, and the other is the middle 80%. Now, for GMAT Focus, a lot of schools don't have these numbers quite yet, or they'll only show the median score. But this is still useful in comparing the older GMAT scores to the new ones and understanding how you stack up. So first is the median score. So you'll see here that the Yale School of Management's class of 2026 had a median score of 675. That means that half of the admitted students scored above 675 and half scored below. Next is the middle 80%. So this is the scoring range minus the top 10% and the bottom 10% of the admitted class. So again, for the Yale School of Management, this range was approximately 700 to 760. So if your score falls within this range, then you're in a pretty good position. So how do percentiles tie into this? Well, if you take a look at this chart, you'll see that a 675 lands you in the 95th percentile, which means that you outperformed 95% of other test takers. Other schools show similar trends. For example, Stanford GSB and Harvard both reported that the median GMAT score for the most recent class was around a 740, which is the 96th to 98th percentile, or 685 to 695 on the new GMAT. And from there, you can assess your competitiveness and set a realistic strategy for yourself. So as we said many times, your GMAT score is a critical component of your application, but it is just one piece of the puzzle. Scoring in the 90th percentile or above the median for your desired program can give you a very competitive edge, but even if your score lands on the lower end of the middle 80%, you can still have a good chance by boosting your application essay, your letters of recommendation, having a strong GPA, and other components of your application. So what's the takeaway? Know where your score stands, but don't let it define your entire application. So now we talked all about scores and percentiles, but there's one thing that most students want to do, and that's to improve their score. So here are a few quick tips from us. First, I would recommend using adaptive practice. So that means that you're not just studying out of test books or PDFs, but you're actually using a program that analyzes your strengths and weaknesses and tells you what areas to focus on. The Magoosh program is adaptive and is also developed for the new GMAT focus, so I would highly recommend giving it a try. Second, I would focus on time management. The new GMAT is much shorter, but things move at a pretty fast pace, so you'll need to practice your pacing and time management skills so that you can stay focused and do your best throughout the test. Finally, I would highly recommend taking full-length practice tests. I would recommend starting with a full practice test before you've done any prep at all, and then continuing to do that regularly so that you can benchmark how you're performing. So Magoosh actually offers a full-length practice test for free through our platform, and I'll leave the link in the description. This is a great way to start out your prep with either the diagnostic or the full-length test, and it comes with subject-by-subject score breakdown and accurate score prediction. So this is a really great resource and is all for free. I really recommend checking it out. So I'll leave the link in the description. So to recap, we covered how GMAT percentiles work, how to convert from the old scores to the new format, and what the median and middle 80% mean when you're applying to business schools. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more GMAT tips from us. And best of luck with your GMAT prep journey. Again, if you want to try out the free GMAT practice test, be sure to check out the link in the description below. And best of luck on your GMAT journey.